rave culture.
What's poppin', everybody? It's your boy RB here, and welcome back to Rave Culture Cultura Rave. So, in case you're new, every week we're joined by a killer guest, and believe you me, today it's no exception at all. On this occasion, we're joined by a multi-talented artist. She began her career at a young age, attending legendary residencies in Florence's Tenax club and Rome's nightlife staple Goa club. Since then, she has become one of the main figures of Italian dance music, sharing the booth with everyone who's anyone in the industry, as well as touring the world, moving everybody's bumps in legendary parties such as Marco Carola's Musicon, Loco Seran, Bendecidos, and Circoloco, to name a few. Today's guest is not only a DJ, but a prolific producer with a beautiful voice, releasing music on huge labels such as Allien's BPitch Control. Ladies and gents, today we're joined by none other than the gentle warrior herself, ravers and non-ravers around the world. Today I bring you Silvie Loto. What you're telling me, Silvie? Thank you very much for being here. It's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for the nice introduction. That was good. That was nice.
Hey, it's always good to hear that. Thank you very much, Silvie. So, how are you? I got to start with that.
I'm good. It's a hard time for everyone, I guess. For DJ, mostly. It's long now. It's 1 year that we don't move, we don't tour, we don't play, and it's not always easy. It's day by day, like day passing, and we just wait and we don't know. But for the rest, it's good. Trying to stay positive. That's what we all say.
I mean, it like I was telling Katie when I did this with her, stay positive sounds like such a generic and Coca-Cola ad thing, but it's true though. Like, you just get accepted and realize there's a new normal, but that we will all be back in a dance floor. Especially.
Yeah, that's what I always say. There's no need to be, to be negative and think about this every day. It's not gonna change the situation. We can't control this. So being positive, as you said, is some stupid sometimes. It's like, okay, what should I do? But just, when there's not much we can do, what we can do, we just wait and try to do things. It's very important to keep ourselves busy. That's for sure. Don't stop, because the moment you start thinking, it's a disaster. So we really need to be focused on something. It's not easy every day, because we are far from clubs since so much now. It's so long. So it's not always, you don't have the inspiration every time to do music or, to record the podcast or do things, linked to music, but we have to, it's important.
I mean, it's like you said, we have to, and staying busy, it is like find something that you like. I think, to be honest, I think it's definitely a period. I'm pretty sure that you all miss being, like there, making people move their ass in a party and getting extra lit, like traveling, seeing friends all over the world. Like, I know, but at the same time, like what I feel this has brought to people in this industry is kind of like a break and kind of reevaluate where they're at. Like, in the sense that, because I think people don't understand it. I think I said this in previous recordings, but fuck it, because it's important. Like, you guys travel all of the year, like, like you make music and that, but you're constantly playing. It's like a year-long world tour.
That's why I think at the beginning it was something that we all appreciate a lot. I mean, even of course if we miss clubs anyway. But it was something that we were like, okay, now we have this time, what we can do, we can think about ourselves, we can think about our position in the scene and, try to be better for when this is going to start again. The problem is now it's 1 year and, it's like, we've done this. We understood where we are and we just want to play. We just want to be back. And, with all this new awareness and all this, new feelings that we have about ourselves and what we can do and where we want to go and where the music is going, what we like. It's just we've done this, please.
But it's crazy. I mean, I know you're booked for Off Sonar, if I'm not wrong. Bendecidos, so you have something to look forward. I mean, everybody, if you want to get extra lit, you should go to that fucking party. Lineup is ridiculous. And
but you think it's gonna happen? Do you think it's gonna happen?
Look, let's be optimistic. Like,
you want it? But that's actually. But that's the point. That's actually what we do. That's what I'm saying. It's like we're looking to the next party. And I was supposed to play in Dubai for Easter, so I was looking for that, but then this was canceled. And then now I'm looking for sauna, but honestly, I think it's going to be canceled again. So yes, we're a little bit tired of looking, at something that in the end is not happening. But you're completely right. I'm also saying this, but I'm being positive. And my friends, they ask me, how can you always be smiling and be positive? I don't know. Maybe I'm faking and just like it's a way to move on. But not every day. I have shitty day as well.
Well, I mean, everybody has a shitty day. But I think I think this has made us all appreciate what we had. Like, for me, coming from Lima, like, it's not a huge industry. Like, a lot of people play there, but it's not like every weekend. Okay, so where are we going, right? Like London, I've got like 8, 10, 9, 15 venues. And then you realize, like, shit, I cannot even go to one a month. So I think that I think that's gonna obviously made people more realistic towards things and not that idealistic in that sense, because we don't want to get our hopes up. I mean, you're talking to someone who literally took a plane to go to Miami Music Week the Thursday before everything was shut down, and the moment I get there, boom, no parties, like, you're canceled, you ain't going nowhere.
You went to the beach?
Yeah, for a day, and then I went for a day, and then my parents were like, you're getting your ass in Peru right now. You're not going back to London. But yeah, so Silvie, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Why don't you tell us about yourself and how you started? Because I think that something interesting along your career is you've taken time, like, you've been patient building yourself up to what you are right now, and it's something that right now I think people are waiting for, like, immediate success, and boom, like, I want to be playing in clubs, I want to be taking photos, having interviews, and I would like to know how Silvie Loto grew into the amazing artist she is right now.
Thank you. Well, it's been 15 years I'm playing, so things change for sure in the scene a lot, and now we have as you say, we have a different way, for people, just for DJ to arrive to success really fast. It's different. I'm not saying it's better, but just the time I started, I feel that's what things were a little bit slower, like without social media. So what you were building by doing things more than showing things online. So for me, I don't know, actually the beginning I start very fast in the way that I was already at Tenax when I was young, and then I moved to Go. I was really young. After that, I feel like, I always did things, but just with my time, I didn't have to build, this beginning anymore. So I was going with the flow of this. I don't know. But yes, looking back, I see that, but I think that's just the way I am, I'm very perfectionist. So when I do something, I really need to do it very well. That's for music, or, even when I prepare a set, when I play somewhere. So maybe that's what made my career go a little bit, as you say, like step by step. And I'm happy, because I feel like every move I made, or every, decision I took, it was really something I thought, and really something that I felt. For me, it was always very important to be real and do, what it was myself. Even in music, I could have released way more music. It's not because I'm lazy. It's not because I don't do music, because I think I never stopped doing music, because I don't release that much. People always ask me, are you making music? It's like, are you making music? Are you able to do music? I am doing music, but it's just when I need something to be not perfect, because it's not perfect, but something I really need to feel, before it came out, before I send. I feel music is something very personal for me. Maybe it's too much. I should get better at this, because it's something I'm really attached to.
Yeah, but it's, of course, it's what you do, like, like you said, like,
it's a different approach. There's people that just producer, they really produce. I always say that I'm not a producer. Like I was a DJ in the first place. That's why I approach to music. I love to be on stage, and I love to make people have fun in the party, and that's what I like. Producing is something I learned after.
Okay.
I like it. I don't love it as much as, honestly, I don't love it as much as, like going touring. But it's something that I really like. It's I don't produce every day. Don't get in the studio every day to do music. No, that's not my thing. I need to be, I need to have my mindset, you know, for that. And I need to have the right day. And there's people that just produce a lot, and it's different. I think it's really a different way of approaching this, you know, like
there's a difference. Like, I think you can tell, like, when you see someone DJ, like when you listen to someone's tracks and you go like, holy shit, this is crazy. And then you go see them play and you hear the DJs and you go like, all right, it's good. But I think, like, you know, like there's a difference in between like people that thrive in production, people that thrive in DJing. I think it also, like, it depends on what you love more, and what you want to build yourself upon as well. And yeah, I mean, I think obviously, like right now, I think it's an era where everybody's releasing music. Obviously, streaming has kind of changed the game rules a little bit. I think, you know, before it was Beatport and SoundCloud. Now it's Spotify's king. Um, but yeah, I mean, you know, I think it's, like you said, it's really important to know what is it that you like the most.
yeah.
Because obviously sometimes, like, you know, for me, like when I see a DJ playing and I see them enjoy the show, that for me makes like the whole set worth, because it's like they're having fun. I think that's why a lot of people love the Martinez brothers, for instance. Like, even if they don't like their style, like,
Yeah, but the vibe,
like the
was,
vibe,
yeah.
literally, like, you know, just seeing Chris and Steve going crazy at it, like it's like it's good. So Sylvie,
Yeah, like,
I wanted to ask you, since we're talking about how you came and what you did with music and DJing, what are things that an up and comer should know that he might not learn or get in, like, let's say, a Google article or DJ Mag or a book?
about being a DJ, about how to be a
Yes,
DJ.
like about what's coming in your life when you make it.
Well, I think, you know, the important thing, you mean like by learning, like what you should do. I think it's, you know, like it's, of course there is some pro and cons about the DJ life, you know, like for sure something that you don't learn in books, as you said, is just, you know, you have up and down for sure. It's a work that really can bring you up and be, you know, like super up after good gigs or in a good period of, you know, where you are. And then sometimes you really feeling way more down because maybe you don't have enough gigs, or maybe you're not happy about what you're doing. So I think I can speak for almost everyone. Of course, we're all different, but it's a work that, you know, is like roller coaster sometimes. So that's something for sure. It's not really nice, but you have to, you learn how to deal with it. You know, that's how it is. So it took me a while because I'm very sensitive as a person. So sometimes, you know, it wasn't easy. But then you learn with the age that, you know, it's gonna end. You have a bad period. It's like life. I think it's the same. You can put this in normal life anyway. It's not only for DJ, but you know, you have a period that things seems like so bad. You don't like anything. What I'm doing, I don't like the music I'm doing. I don't like, you know, like how things are going. But you know, it's gonna end, and it's just a phase. You know, it's really going up and down. I guess every job is like this, but this one especially, it's really something that you can control sometimes. You know, it's really the mood. But you have some, you know, I think the best thing, this was the cons. The pro is that, you know, like being on stage and make people like having fun. It's something that's I don't know which other jobs can give you this feeling, you know. It's not about ego. Of course, every DJ has ego to be on stage. That's for sure. It's something that you have a little bit. Some DJ have a little bit. Some DJ it's all about ego. But it's about what you give to people. You know, like it's how you make people having fun. You're controlling in a way, you know. And it's beautiful when you see it can be 10 people, or it can be 100 or 1,000, and people are having fun, and people say, thank you for your set. And people, you know, really love their time there. I always say, you know, that I'm doing a DJ course now. And I always say to the students, you know, to the people that come to the course, don't forget you are a DJ, and it's not about yourself, it's about other people that are on the dance floor. So of course you have to play music that you love, otherwise we would play the same music, you know, the one that works for the dance floor, and we know it. But
we know which one we're talking about. Yeah,
right, so play what you like, but look at the dance floor. Just don't forget that these people, they want to have fun. That's why a DJ, you know, the figure of the DJ came up in the past. It's not because the DJ has to be a superstar, because the DJ had the role to make people have fun, to make people dance, you know, to make people have a good time.
What does it mean, Silvie, to be a DJ? If you could put it in words, like what's Silvie Loto's dictionary definition, not dictionary, but Silvie Loto's definition of what a DJ means. What it means.
Yeah, that's it's DJ is someone that has the role to make people have a good time, you know. I think that's what it is. Sometimes when I'm down, or when I have a, you know, like a gig that it's a huge gig, and maybe I'm a little bit stressed, and you know, I'm still after 15 years, of course. I always follow my attention to what I want from this night. Do I want to be a star on the stage? Yes, no, but that's not the goal. I want people to smile. I want a dance floor. So I try to be focused and imagine a dance floor of people that are having good time, and then they're smiling, and you know, like they're speaking with each other, and you know, they're just enjoying the time. So I think that's what is a DJ. And sometimes we forget, you know, it's just like, I'm of course happy that, you know, like the DJ role now, it's bigger, and DJ are star, it's fine, you know, it's good. I mean, it means that the electronic music scene is growing.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful. I'm not against it. It's just, let's don't forget what is DJ, you know, like it's not about himself, it's about the people.
Yeah, it's exactly. And you know, like, first of all, everybody, you heard it here first from Silvie Loto. But yeah, I think it's really nice, not nice way to put it, but I think it's a really nice profession, if you know what I mean, like making people happy, like and that to me is like crazy, and like it's crazy. And like you said, I cannot imagine the feeling of being like, that's something that I always look when I'm at a gig. It's like, how are like these motherfuckers that are moving thousands of people or 500 people, but at the same time listening to the whistles and looking at everybody dancing, taking photos. Like, I cannot imagine how that feeling is, but I'm guessing it's fucking crazy. Like, it must be. Do you remember the feeling of the first time, like your first important gig, how you felt? I'm guessing nervous, but you know, how was it? Like, can you remember that night?
Yeah, of course. I think I always mention this one because it was the one I always remember the most, because it was the biggest one. My first time at Tenax club in Florence, I was young. I was like 19, I think, or something like this. And I was already playing since a while, but you know, smaller clubs. And for me, but it doesn't matter where you play before, because there is some clubs that has a real meaning for you. So for me, that was the club where I grew up in. And, you know, I was going to the club when I was 16, 17. And, you know, for me, that was the club at the time. And so playing there was, of course, like my biggest achievement at the time, you know, like it was crazy. And I remember very, very well the feelings. I really, if I close my eyes and I picture the moment, I still can feel, you know, how I was feeling entering the club, looking at the club full, and for the first time, not being on the dance floor, but being on the stage, you know. It was weird and confusing, and you know, but at the same time, I was proud of myself, and I was happy, and I was trying to do my best, you know. And I think I did. I was very happy. I was very happy about the night. Very happy. And yeah, it was for sure the strongest feeling. I think I think DJ, they play so many clubs, but that's, you know, like few ones that really, of course you enjoy many, but there's few ones that really, you can really remember the feelings of, you know, exactly how you felt.
I think there's always, I mean, a venue, like as a fan, obviously as a DJ, I'm guessing it's different because you're playing there. but
Mm.
like for instance, like for me, that's fabric. Like every time I go
Mhm.
fabric, it's like this different aura like around it. Like there's a buzz,
Yeah.
and I understand what you mean. Like I know there's a lot of festivals, but if it were me, the first thing I go to is fabric for sure. Like it's just because I'm missing that dark room one at the bottom and going
Yeah.
crazy at it. Um, and but yeah, talking about that, Sylvie, when because you mentioned that as like a bit like a very first big gig and like a moment that kind of defined you. When did you know like not when did you know that you wanted to do this, but when do you realize like, holy shit, I can live out of this, like I can make it financially out of it?
But I think late, because for me it was really, really always driven by a passion. It was something I was doing as my hobby. Like something I was doing on the side. At the time, I think it was a little bit. At the time, I think I'm speaking like it's 50 years ago. It's 15 years ago. But at the time, it was different. I think that the scene changed very fast, and now it's really different from what it was before. So there was not. I mean, there were like already star DJ, like DJ, big DJ that they were already star at the time, but they were so far from us. Social media, like make these things
Yeah.
make closer to us.
Mhm.
But this time there were few, and they were, like far. It was something, I was looking at Dice or other ones, Allien, and I was looking. For me, they were like something that you don't even think about of getting there, So for me, it was just something I was doing because I really loved it, and and also it was a little bit of a challenge in a way, because it's there were not a lot of women in Italy, so it was weird, like it's people were looking at me when I was playing in the small clubs at the beginning, and they were like, like they were looking at me and they were asking me, what are you doing? And there was not a lot of people that knew also about what DJ was. So I was just playing because I loved it, and I was studying. I did the university. I was studying something else, and I was playing and playing in the weekend. I was playing a lot around Italy, of course. I don't know. At some point after university, I started working for a while because I wanted. Of course, I studied for so long, so I wanted to.
Oh yeah, of
to
course.
yeah, to practice what I
Yeah.
studied, and then it started to be a little bit heavy because I was working the whole week, and then I was going on weekend on gigs, so I literally had no times. And I wanted at the time I wanted to do music because I wanted to release some music, so I was working at night on music. So basically I had zero time, and I had to decide what I wanted to do, and it was not an easy decision. Of course, I loved to do the DJ the most. But it's always weird when you have to take a decision like this.
Of course.
But anyway, at some point I quit my job and I started touring, and that's it. And that's when I released my BPitch stuff, like the BPitch music, because finally I had the time to work on that. And I think of course it was the right decision, I hope. I mean, now in this Corona time, I'm dubbing. No, I'm dying on that.
Dude, I mean, I think everybody has had those feelings. Like for me, it was like, shit, should I have left uni in Peru and come to study music business? Like,
yeah, we're fucked it up.
Like shit, and then
no, we didn't.
no,
We
and
didn't.
and then I'm like, like pandemic hit, but then here I am speaking of Silvie Loto, like so like I think you can see like the bright side out of it. And people are saying there's less jobs because people haven't released and all of that, but at the same time there's more companies. Like there's going to be more parties, there's going to be more booking agencies, there's going to be more and more and more stuff, and I think that's opportunities for anyone who wants to get in this industry. Which actually, talking about the industry, I want to go back to the Allien release before, because I don't know if anybody knows this, but Sylvie sings and she has a beautiful voice. But yeah, I remember you talking to Dice, and guys were talking about the industry a little bit and how it is like a really competitive environment. Like, how would you describe like let's call it underground, but underground dance music industry? I don't know if I want to call it underground, because EDM is going down, tech house is going up, and kind of
it's not underground anymore.
Like exactly. Like everybody knows Circoloco. Like
finally, I'm happy happy about it. I mean, people are
Yeah,
really defending, electronic music is underground. Yeah, it was, and now it's not anymore. And I was wrong about it. We should be happy about
of
it.
course. Everybody should be like the fact that it's mainstream doesn't make it commercial. Yeah, there's
No, not at all.
obviously an element of commercialness into some music, but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
but
Like it is what it is,
yeah.
and it has to be. But how would you describe the industry, Sylvie?
So it's, of course, it's competitive, but I don't feel. I mean, I didn't feel it was when I started, because I don't like to be too much competition. Like, I think I mentioned with Dice as well, and
Yep.
maybe I mentioned it wrong. I didn't mean that I don't like to challenge myself. That, of course, is something that it's good. It's just I don't like competition between each other, when it's like I have to do better than him, and I have to do. I think in music, that's why actually what I was saying when like I start DJing, I'm like I like it because I can do my thing and you can do your stuff, and like if I arrive somewhere, it doesn't mean that you can't. Actually, it can be an inspiration. Like I can look at him and be like, I want to be there. But it became, of course, now a competitive world, like charts and being number one on Beatport and being number one DJ. And that's a lot, of course. Like when things are getting bigger, of course, there is always a competition, right? So it is competitive now a little bit, for sure. But I still think that you can do, and that's actually what I try to do, just look at myself and do. It's not always easy, of course, because you see other people, what they do, but you really, I think the goal is to just be focused on what you want to do. And also, like looking at other people, that's a mistake I think we all do. Like I look at her and I look at him, like, oh, she achieved that by doing this. I think we're all different. There's not a recipe, that's how you say.
Yeah.
There's not like something that is try to do to arrive to success. Like I think we all have our way. It's like in pop music, it's the same. There's not something that pop artists, they all do the same thing and then they arrive. They all have their ability and something that they're better at, either dancing or singing or performing or social media. Like, so I think that's something that the advice I will give to someone. Like just try. I know it's hard, but look at other people for inspiration, but don't look at other people to take things and be like, okay, I have to do this because she did that or he did that, and he arrived there.
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah.
don't know if I answer your question. That's maybe I went out.
No, no, no. I mean, it's good. Like, and sort of what you did, because obviously the fact that this industry is growing, right? I mean, I saw a report that said that like there was a huge decline in electronic music, but I'm guessing that's due to the fact of EDM coming down because it was like a huge amount of money that came through. But like at the same time, because it's more mainstream, like there's social media, like you said, like you can be more exposed. There's more gigs, but I think it's it's definitely become more competitive, and I think that like people are defining success in different ways. Like the way I put it is, for me, being successful, it's not having one season in Ibiza. Being successful is being able to play every season in Ibiza and constantly doing it and constantly building your audience and getting there. Because like, dude, there's no point in trying to be Marco Carola, Loco, Jamie Jones, or trying to be Silvie Loto, Mahoney, Waf, like whomever is there. Like, there's no point. Like, they're there because they're unique. They have something that makes them different. Like, there's obviously gonna be people that say electronic music, it's like, and like, bruh, you don't understand it, and cool, good for you, but like at the same time, yeah, I think it definitely makes it a competitive environment for sure. Obviously,
For
because
sure, for sure.
like you want to get the spotlight, but the thing is, like, what I like about the industry as well is because there's no gossip around it, and if there's gossip, it's like more in between, more in the industry. It's not like, let's say, there's an article that says that someone insulted that DJ at the backstage, like,
I mean, there was some gossip in the last 2 years, let's say a
okay,
little bit came out. But yeah,
okay,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
it's sort of the fact as well, like as the fans, like it's
Yeah.
like it's understanding like why the fans are there. Like there's fans that are going to appreciate the music, but there's also
Mm.
fans that just want to go like get totally wrecked in a party and enjoy it, and it depends on like where you're going. um and I think that, yeah, like the way you put it is it's good challenging yourself, right? Like looking at someone and going like, okay, so they did this right,
Yeah.
amazing. Like I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna see how I can make it my way, you know, like how can I get to that next level?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But
And
it doesn't mean that you have to be competitive the whole time. That's for
e-
sure.
exactly, like be competitive with yourself,
Yeah.
like you know, be competitive with you and try and be better. Like for me, it's every podcast that I'm doing for me, like
No, but also because I mean, except from charts and like these things and number
Mhm.
one beat and all this stuff, I don't think that's the reason number one. Like music, it's really about taste, and that's the point. Like so. Some people can love my music and some people can hate it, and like we don't have the same taste in music, right? So why there should be a number one based on what,
Yeah.
based on how it is mixing? No one look at the mix anymore that much, like it's based on music, and like how can there be a number one? Like if I don't like techno, I can be like ratios in number one or whatever. So I think there's space for everyone, and people choose by music, and of course a lot of factor that is how they see the DJ on stage and how they can see the DJ has passion. I think passion is something that people always look at the end. It's like they can see if what you're doing with your heart, or if you're just doing to be on stage and be really like you just want to be a star or something like this. So yes.
I mean, yeah, it's true, and I think it's like from what you've told me, it appears that it's an industry like I think it's like kind of this type of action learning. Like you learn as you grow more. Like the more gigs you play, the more music you play, like the more people you interact with, the more people like I think that's the way that like you kind of get your grasp of how the industry is, what's your interpretation of it, and like basically how to be successful at it, right? Like how to
Yeah.
make it, because like I mean there's a gazillion of people that try this, and there's still a gazillion of DJs that are playing, but it's just like a bunch. Like I think people need to understand that the reason why Marco and Dice and all of them like are up there at the moment, it's because they're kind of like one of like the first or second generation out of this, and they kind of like created this sound.
Yeah.
And you see Dice with his own style, like completely unique, like super extra hype beast dude, but like when he plays, like his energy, the tunes, like and
Yeah,
it's
of course.
it's exactly the same with you as well. So I mean, like I think it's good for everybody who's listening to know that wants to get in this industry, like whatever you do, like just take your time, learn, and like you'd probably be successful. I don't know. And I think that what you said, it's like you need to like it, right? You need to be passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah, that's number one. It's for sure. It's
And
something that really people see it and feel it. uh like if you're doing this because you love it as well, or just because you want to show up on the stage, I think there's something you can tell.
exactly.
Sure.
And now, Sylvie, like you mentioned before, you're teaching a DJ course in Rome.
Yeah, the t-shirt now.
And exactly, like talking about the pandemic and what it brought, it brought different things, and it's crazy. Like I cannot imagine if this was in London, like, oh yeah, bro, like Silvie Loto's play, like she's teaching DJing. All right, bro, like I'm gonna go there. So talk to me about that. Like how how do you get into this, and how is it, like what do you teach, like and mixing, but like a perfect mixing, like what is it, how do you got into this, like what is it being a teacher for you?
So I was happy because I started this DJ course. It's a vinyl DJ course. So it's basically I'm teaching how to play with vinyl. And I did it 2 years ago, I think, the first time. But then I was touring, I was playing a lot, and I didn't have time to do it again. And it was, like something that was perfect for now, because of course I have a lot of free times and I'm in Rome, and they asked me, do you want to do it again? And now I'm basically doing it all the time, this year. So I'm doing one after another one. And yeah, it's something very nice. It wasn't easy at the beginning, because of course you can know something, but then you have to teach it. You have to explain it to other people, and it's not an easy thing. But I work on my program, like I try to, like to be on the other side and be like, okay, think about when you were not able to play vinyl and you had to understand time and you had to understand things. How did you feel? So I have to try to imagine that I don't know anything about music, and how is the best way to approach people that don't know, because there's people that come to the course that they don't know anything. There's some people that already play, so you need to be prepared, to have in front of you maybe some people that they want to do it but they don't know how and they never try it. But it's really satisfying, I have to say. It's nice. I always had like nice students, and it's really good to see how they
how they evolve.
They improve, how they evolve. And I in the course I do a little bit of theory as well. I speak about like some music history, like house music, where it came from, and techno. So it's really interesting. And of course how the turntable, where they come from, how they develop in the time. And we speak about the sound, the music, the sound of a track, so how it's composed a track. We don't go in the production course stuff. And then we do a lot of practice together, and it's nice. I'm very happy to be able to do this now. It's something that keeps me alive and keep me busy.
Man, it's crazy. Like I can't imagine being there and like kind of playing back to back with you, especially on vinyl, which I think people don't understand. It's like it's way fucking harder than playing with a CDJ or a controller. Like
it is.
Like it is, but like, and also like, dude, imagine if after like in some years one of your students pops up and like you end up, like and you might share the booth, like you
I think they're all gonna pop up because I'm a good teacher. No, I hope so. Maybe they're gonna be all star.
Hey, I mean, why not?
Of course. I try to really, I'm not jealous of what I know. And so for me, I always hated people that, I guess maybe because my dad was a little bit like this. This is something very personal. But my dad knows to do a lot of things, but he never teach me anything. I have to say, not much. So I was always like, if one day I know something, I want to share it. I'm happy if you ask me how I got there, and if I have some treats. Of course, I have some secrets that I don't say, but but no, I say almost everything. But for me, it's nice to share what I know. It's not much, maybe, but I try to share it with them, and I hope they can. I hope they can be star one day.
And well, hopefully, they will. Hopefully they'll see their beautiful teacher Sylvie here, and they they can understand that she's extra motivated them to get them in a lit spot at gigs. Obviously, like out of your students, like you told me that there's people that don't know how to do anything, but like
some okay. They don't.
Okay, and some they do. Have you like, is any one of them like a huge fan of you? Like and how was it that first interaction? Like interacting with them, like because obviously, obviously you get
but because I think I'm very easy person, I'm really cheap. But I think if you don't know me and you see me play, because these people, of course, these students are from Rome, so they saw me playing at Goa many times, or somewhere. Some they also saw me in other city. Sometimes they tell me. And I think that they're a little bit scared at the beginning, because I think I look serious, but I'm not. I think after 2 or 3 times they understand that I'm super chill, and I'm funny and I make jokes, and I'm not that like that person at all. But of course at the beginning there's a little bit of I think they're scared, a little bit embarrassed. Okay, my English is getting rusty.
And how do you manage that? Like, how do you, as the artist, and not because I can't understand that feeling of having someone telling you like, holy shit, I love you, like I love your work and that, like, like I can't imagine that. But like, how do you handle that and be like, dude, I'm your teacher, like like we can be friends, like I'm gonna teach you, like we're here, like we're not on a dance floor, and like you're not maybe interrupting my set. Like
no, it's always nice to receive compliments. I've been, before being a DJ, I was on the other side, and like it's I understand that it's when you meet someone, you really love, like that you really inspired by, it's can be hard to, like communicate. So I know exactly the feeling, and I always, like, I appreciate every time they do say something nice. Of course, there needs to be like, but I didn't have any bad experience, like someone like being too pushy or something like this. No. But, I understand. All the DJ I met when I was young, like I remember the feeling when you want to speak with someone but you're shy and you don't want to seem weird and you want to give a compliment, but like you don't want to be like everybody else. So I know the feeling, and I honestly, I'm inspired by all the DJ that I met when I was young. They were very nice with me, and I was, I want to be like them. That's also, I met some hustle, that they answer you in the wrong way. So I always like, I don't want to be like this. I always want to be nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's something you definitely learn, like, when you're working in an environment and you meet people, like, even if you don't like someone, at least you learn, I don't want to be like that. Like,
Yeah, that's something that's very important in life for everything. I always say you have to look at what you like and be inspired, but also look at what you don't like and be like, I don't want to be like this. Even in music, is like, listen to stuff that you don't like and be like, I don't want to do this music. It's the same.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think that also, like, for me, sometimes when people don't like something, they think like that's shit, and that's not the case. Like, like, for instance, like, I mean, I think that, now with social media, it's amazing because, DJs can get more reach. Like, maybe some of your students, like, can post stories, playing with you, and they can give them clout and that. But I think that, people need to understand, like, listen to what you don't like, but at the same time, like, respect it. Like, for instance,
no, that's for sure. Always.
Like,
it's what we said before. It's about taste. So there's not a truth about music. There can be quality, yeah, for sure. Quality music or not, how it's made, how it sounds.
Yeah.
But it's about taste. You can judge and be like, something, it's horrible. It's your taste, So that's not for sure. Always respect.
And Silvie, talking about that, like how your students were starstruck and that, obviously, like I was telling you before we started recording, I was at Seran Bendecidos last year, 338, where you played. And I remember, like, having you at this end and going like, holy shit, like, should I talk? Not. And then I was like, you're a little bit too drunk. So, like, no, not the time.
You
so
should have.
Like,
because probably I was drunk too. So it would have been interesting to see.
But I mean, obviously at the moment I was a little bit more, nervous, like, as opposed to like excited and, like, and chilling like I'm right now. But so, like, how, I want to ask you, like, what's been like the weirdest interaction you've had with a fan, like, or like the weirdest approach that you've had with the fan at a gig?
Well, I don't know. I think because that's something true that I always look serious for who doesn't know me. I think when I play, I'm serious. I don't have a lot of people that approach me in a weird way because I think that not scared. They're not scared of me, but they're always like, So honestly, not that I remember that I had with them. I think I had unpolite people, that's for sure. Sometimes people for me, if you're polite, you can say whatever you want, like in a polite way. And that's something I think it works for everything, like just be polite. And also because you don't know, the DJ is always seen like someone that is the star, so it's there and it's doing, but sometimes there's DJ that's shy, or maybe they're tired and they're stressed, like everyone, so you have no idea because you look at someone on the stage and you think how this person is, right? Like how it's, but you actually don't know him. So of course, for me, it's always nice interaction with people, and I love when people come to me. And I'm actually embarrassed when they give me a lot of compliments. So I know what to say. Like, okay.
Yeah.
So but just be polite. I think the rule number one, just be polite. No matter if you're drunk, if you're high, whatever. Everything is accepted if you're polite, I think. But now that I don't remember anything weird, I think.
So, I was actually gonna ask you about what you said. So you said be polite. So that's number one. Like,
I think another thing. I think Guy some years ago, I think it's maybe the only time it came to me and it said, he didn't even say hi, and he said, you play better the other time that you play here. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, you know, if you didn't like, yeah, this time was not good, it was shit. Okay.
Wow.
That's something you don't say, you know. You can say your opinion, it's fine, you know. If you didn't like my set, it doesn't matter. But you know, as I said, if you're not polite, that was a little bit weird. And I say, you know, just move.
And like, I hope that person listens to this, like, really, and sees like how you should be fucking polite. But
I think honestly, I remembered it because it was the only time. Maybe I'm lucky people don't come to me and say this stuff. But this time the guy did.
And as a DJ, like, if you want to reply, you know, like, fuck you or something, like, can you, or like, do you need to be more reserved and be like more professional in that sense? Because I'm guessing that sometimes, you know, like, everybody, like, we're all people, like, you know, like.
Yeah, no, but I don't, because it's not how I am. I don't usually say fuck you, and also, you know, like, does it really matter, you know, what he said? Or, of course, it depends what he say, you know. But if you just say something like, this guy, whatever, it's your opinion, you're drunk, and you're just saying, and then after he said it, I saw him that it was like, you know, I fucked it up, I shouldn't have said this, whatever, you know. But I feel, yes, of course, it depends. You can react. It's not because you are a DJ that you cannot speak, actually. It's whatever, you know.
Exactly. And so Silvie, I was actually gonna ask you, like, how should you approach a DJ if you want to tell that, like, if you're at a party, and how you shouldn't? Obviously, yes, how you should. We've got one, like, crucial ingredient. We've got being polite. For more corny and cheesy than it is, it's fucking true. And then, what are two other things that you would say, like, that you need to do or take in consideration when approaching, and how to approach a DJ, and then how not to approach a DJ?
Well, I think it depends of why you're approaching a DJ for what. First of all, you know,
okay,
like
yeah, I hear you.
But I think that's a moment that you shouldn't approach a DJ. It depends on what he's doing, you know. If DJ is mixing, or it's about to start a set, you know. For me, for example, the 10 minutes before I start a set, I need a little bit of, you know, like, I just want to concentrate on what's going on in the club, and I need to be focused on what I want to play. You know, so just, you know, sometimes people speak, and you're like, okay, you know, that's not the right time. So I think timing, you know, just wait, you know, when somebody, but the same is when you finish a set, you know, and you have this, you know, adrenaline, and you have this moment that you're like, okay, I'm done, and I finish, and you have this, I need, I don't know if it's for everyone, but I need this 5 minutes of, you know, decompression, you know, like, just, okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes people, they come and they want to, you know, and you're like, it's not the right time. But again, just if you are polite and nice and, you know, like, genuine, and you want to ask something, or you want to say something, or you have a question, or whatever, you know, it's fine. It's not, for me, DJ is not a superstar. I would never be a superstar. So I love to speak with people, and I can speak with people.
Okay. And okay, so you would say that to approach a DJ, you need to be polite. You need to understand. Then you need to understand why you're approaching the DJ, and then the timing.
Timing, yeah.
Okay, awesome. I mean, everybody, just like, if you're at a booth or whatever and you want to approach someone, just listen to it. Like, just listen to it, and understand it from people that you know that do this shit. And don't be like me when you have Dice or Silva going like, holy shit, like, just go straight for it, because I think that, like,
go with a drink, and it's always better.
So yeah, I mean, it's good. I think it's a different environment where you're like at the backstage, at least as a fan, like when you go to booth or back and you get like a wristband for backstage, and you know, you're there with people, like, you know, especially if you're like a geek like me that tries to follow anyone in this industry, like, and be like, oh shit, that's a manager, booking agent, boom boom boom. But then, like, you're at the other side and you're just partying and you're just having like a killer time at a party.
It's two different things. They're both good, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
And Silvie, I want to ask you about, like, going back to your studies. You worked at PR, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah, I did for a while.
what do you think it's the role of like of PR in dance music? Because I think that like obviously like that's the only job I've had. I mean, I don't consider hosting a podcast a job, but I was an intern at Jukebox PR. Shout out Jukebox. Oh, shout out Leo Duarte for making this possible. I'm not gonna forget about the homie.
Ciao, Leo.
And but yeah, I worked at Jukebox as an intern for PR, and I think that you understand, okay, so you know how shit works and why you see certain tracks, why you see certain stories inside pages or articles. So, you know, what would you say is the role of PR in underground dance music and underground like this? Because we know it's getting up.
Ex underground. Yeah, I think it's super important right now. Even and I think it's something. It wasn't that important when I started because there were no social and there was not a lot of this. But now, of course, it's super important. And even if sometimes I don't know, like it's not really fair. Let's say this because of course, if you have a lot of money to invest, you're gonna have a lot of article about your EP maybe or about your gig, and if you don't have much money as an artist to invest on this, of course you're not gonna have the same visibility of other DJs. So it's something that is there, and like it's good to use and it helps a lot nowadays. I don't know if it's good or bad. It's, as I said, because it really is something that's it depends of the investment that you can do on that.
Yeah.
Like some people say, if I do a great EP, why there shouldn't be an artist on resident advisor anyway without me paying it or promoting? Or maybe there's gonna be the
Some
same
cases, but yeah.
Yeah, but like we know now that mostly of the stuff that we see online on artists, mostly of the time, not always, but most of the time, is because you put. It's not that you pay to be there, but you put money to make your EP go around. So
Yeah,
people see it.
exactly.
But of course, it's something that we use. We have to use because it's part of the game. Let's say so it's
Yeah.
super important. Yeah.
I think it's sort of like having a pure agent, like in its own way. I think like in a kind of for dummies way to put it is, it's like having your booking agent. Like it's like if you're killing sets, like don't ask yourself why aren't promoters looking at me. Like there's obviously people that know the promoters and that can talk to them and tell them, yo, like you should book this kid because he's gonna fucking kill it, and they have the relationships to do so. And and with the PR, it's the same. Like you want to get noticed, like you want to get your stories up, you're gonna get featured on premieres or whatever. Like, unless you get to a certain level, right, such as yourself, where DJ Mac can be like, Sylvie, we want you to be the cover of DJ Mac Italy.
Yeah, of course.
Like you've earned it at this point, so they're gonna look for you. But when you're starting, obviously, like you need to get to them so that they notice you. Like it's like you said, it's part of the game. It's part of the game. And so how would like in in your terms, not in this industry, but as in general, like what would you say is PR?
Well, so what I was doing as job, I was working for cinema, so it was a different way. But what is PR? It's like it helps you, give you visibility. It's like help you having your stuff going around. That's what PR does. Like it's you have content and you put it out. That's what it is. And now with social, you can do so many things. Like you share your video and like you share your music and you share your track and you have these pages working on this. So it's something that make you, of course, a lot of people see you more than you will do without that. Like being, that's what it does. PR basically. That's what it is. And it's important. It's to there's so much stuff outside, there's so much music, there's so many DJ now, like it's crazy, like how many new DJ I discover myself through Instagram, through social, through DJ sets. So it's becoming way harder, like for people to notice you and for promoters to see you and for promoters to know you, and you need to do something like this for sure. It's not always it's not essential. Maybe sometimes if you can do it by yourself, but it's a good, it's a good help for sure.
It's a good investment if you
Yeah.
have the money, like, and I think it's cool because like the agent, like at least what we did at Jukebox is like they really understood what the artist wanted, and that's something essential. Like if you're gonna have your team as an artist, like it has to be like-minded people. Like
Mm.
if your shit is not playing in festivals and you want to play in underground clubs, that you need to be with the people that are gonna get you there. Like
Mm.
it's interesting, and I think it's something to have real in consideration when you're starting, especially because that's the toughest part. Because like this woman, like someone like you, like Silvie Loto, like you're already Silvie Loto, if you know what I mean. Like, and that thing, there's obviously room, for growing more, and having Sylvie in every single festival being a
Yeah.
headliner. But I think that like when you get to a level, you don't need it. Like bookings will come along because you've made it that far, and I think that at the beginning it's harder. So PR is not gonna make you bad, of course. It's gonna it's gonna help you. And obviously, Sylvie, we were talking before, something that really caught my attention was we were talking about that there's not a formula, right, like for
Mhm.
success in this industry. But to me, at least, it seems that there's kind of a formula for effective dance floor tracks, like that's been going on for quite a while. What's your take on that, like on the current state of the industry? Like
You mean tracks that works? Like,
like like in general, because we're saying that this industry is going overground, like I think to the point where probably EDM will go down, and what tech house, I really don't know how to define it at the moment. I think it's such a huge debate topic in dance music, but I think that's gonna be like like the festive, like the proper kind of new EDM in that stage. And I don't know, like to me it seems that kind of a lot of this new producers, not all of them, like because you see the successful ones, and why are they there? Because they're doing their own shit. But what do you think about that, like kind of this trend of doing this dance floor effective tracks that's going at the moment? Like what's your take on how the industry is?
well, I think, like we all know, like, as I said before, like even as a style, in terms of sound, we know what it works on the dance floor more, like, very well that if you're going to play a tech house with a big breakdown and a huge, build up, you're going to have, you're going to destroy the dance floor. So I think it's about having risk in music. So of course, as I said, we all know what we should play, to have an hour of destroying dance floor set, like, and you will kill it. But I think there's something more magic when you play something and you risk, like, and you play something that is different, or you play something that doesn't have, you try to mix. That's what I do, Of course, I love to play a huge dance floor track that is going to destroy the club at some point, but wouldn't be very boring to play it the whole time. So there's something that doesn't belong to me, because for me it's so magical and so risky, and so challenging to play something that you love, and it's not gonna work that much, maybe because the track is not made like this. There's some artists that they go for it, they just don't care. They wanna dance floor tracks, and they work for that. And what can I say? I don't feel to say that's wrong, because of course, as we say, a DJ is there to make people happy and make people dance. So if a track works, for me, it doesn't go to the commercial side. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean, because that's something that we actually debate a lot. Like sometimes when people hear some tracks that they really works, and then the well done, and the breakdown works, and the drop, it's huge, and you it's gonna work 100%. They say this is a commercial track, and I'm like, why do you say it's commercial? Just because it works on the dance floor, it doesn't mean it's a commercial track, right? So it also depends, like, where the track is going. But I don't feel to say that they're doing it wrong. Of course, if a set works, if people are happy and people are dancing, doesn't matter how commercial or easy or whatever, how you want to call it, is gonna, that's is the goal. It's sorry, sometimes my English.
No, it's okay.
You achieve your goal to make people dance, and have a good time. So yes, of course, it's a little bit boring for me at some point, as I said, and you don't have a lot of innovation because you always go for the same pattern and the same,
Yeah.
structure of the track and the same sound. But yeah, it's a choice, like there's no right or wrong in music. It's what you like. I feel like these people do what they like, probably, or maybe they just want to destroy the dance floor every track, and it's good if they feel it's good.
I think, Silvia, like that is a unique take on the situation. Like I think it's good. I think it definitely makes sense. Um, Obviously this, it's not that it bothers you, but it's true that some people just like repeat, repeat, repeat. But I do think that promoters take a good part in it as well, in terms of who they're booking, because it's like when you see Uruguay at the moment in South America, they're booking all the kids from PIF, like Christusi, Prang, Toman, like they're kind of trying to bring the sound. And I don't know, like, do you think the promoters take a role in that?
Of course, yeah, 100%. They do. They do. At the same time, promoter have to feed the club, have to
Yeah.
make the club full. So they take the decision that they think is the best. I also understand. Sometimes I think they could do more. Speaking about Italy, for example, I don't know the other part that much, but for what I see here, that promoter they take risk, a promoter they never take risk, and promoter that they take 50-50. I think that's the good thing to do. I
Yeah.
understand you have a club. I understand you need to make money, of course, because that's your business. And so I think you should make, what I always say, if I would have a club, I would try to mix to balance the lineup. So have big names or, sound that I know works 100%. And, like to put aside someone that it's, maybe not that famous yet, or that has a different style and, like something more underground, I would say.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I will risk a little bit. And that will make me also invest in someone that is not as big at the moment, and maybe one day is going to be there, or I can actually help him, to
Yeah.
grow up and to build, and like, so yes, they have a role 100%. And I think it should be sometimes some of them, they should be more careful about what they do. And
Yeah.
also let's not forget the music is a trend. So these names that they're now booking, maybe they're gonna work now, and maybe in 5 years they're gonna be gone.
Yeah.
And so then what you do, you say, it's there's not much I don't know, I think it doesn't really work in the long term. So I
Ex-
think
ex- yeah, exactly. It doesn't work in the long term. And actually, for the final topic I have for you, Sylvie, talking about roles, you talked about not competing and not being jealous, but taking inspiration. And when I was speaking to David Dutronic last year, and he told me that he took a lot of inspiration from Dice's story, coming into this industry, going from hip hop to dance music, and where he's at the moment, and why he's at the moment, like why he's up there. So I've seen that he has like a really good relationship with him. Like, what would you say is like the role of a DJ, of where he sat at this stage, right? And where's like, and what's his role with DJs like you? Because like you said, like, if I think this is something organic, like you see someone that you believe in and you go like, I'm gonna support this person, I want to give that person bookings, I want to play with them, because like it's like you say, like I need to pass my knowledge, and the industry needs to keep on going. It's more about the culture and the industry than your own ego.
yeah.
So what would you say is like the role of people like Dice? I mean, maybe you can talk about your relationship with him, but like what are the roles in there at that stage in their career, and what is your role at the stage of your career with kids that are up and coming?
Well, I think it's, like, for example, Dice is someone that I really respect and I have a good relationship. But for me, it was one of my inspiration when I was a teenager, and like thinking now, I still thinking of having a relationship with him now. It's something that like it's crazy, because I'm like, for me it was like one of the god of the time. So, but I think it's beautiful, and honestly, I'm lucky that I always met not always, but I met a lot of people that believe in me, like Ellen or Marco at the beginning when I was
With
playing with
music
him,
on.
music on,
Yeah.
and I was no one. Not that I'm someone now, but I was really nothing. And it took me to Ibiza, and Ellen with the BPitch stuff. That was my like first series release, and she really wanted music from me. And I played for her party as well. So I always met this figure that they were like my idols when I was a kid, and I experienced to have them, like close and be like, okay, these people, they inspire me also because they can, like they're open to see the youngest generation and bring them with them and be like, okay, I see something in you like they see in a lot of other people, and I want to work with you. I want to give you an opportunity, and I want to help you. And I think it's beautiful. It's how you like you build the electronic scene, because otherwise at some point all these big names, as you said before, these big names, they're as big also because it's the second generation, so they had like this role of like, so it's important to build new generation of people that they're gonna go on with the electronic music scene. And it's, I think what they're doing is great, like what they did. Even Dies with this party and is inviting like a younger DJ, and it's creating a family, it's creating something that it's his heritage. It's not his heritage because it's not what he's doing, but like it's something that it's building side to close to him, and it's beautiful. I think it's something that is inspirational. So yeah,
I mean,
I
I've seen that Dice doing that with you and Mahoney, which is interesting to me. Two different sounds, like two. It's
yeah, but that's a good thing. It doesn't have to be the same sound. What it's good about Dice, and the Dice, and what I love about him, it's that he never say anything about the sound that you have to play at this party, or he never say a word. You should play what you want to play, like you should play what you like. And really he never did a weird face about a frack or something that it was out of his vibe, like that's beautiful. It's something that it's it really create a good environment, because sometimes when you play at the party of a DJ, you think that you have to play his sound, or you're like, be careful on not going in another direction and play something darker or something else. But with him, really never happened. It really like actually is like, play what you want, I don't care. Just play what you like, and it's beautiful. You have a good feeling, and you feel that you're part of something that it's free,
Yeah. And what do you think it's like? What are the two most important things that struck you the most that you've learned from him, that he's taught you, directly or indirectly?
Well, he's a really strong, and it's really inspirational to see him after so many years, just always, like super passionate. He's still very passionate, and he's still there after many years. It's something I told him many times. It's like, since many years you're there. I was a little kid, and now we're speaking, and we're still young, but like you're still here and you're still playing that much. So that for sure is the main thing. It's like seeing him just going, and even if he has problems, just go and it's fight for them. I think it's a real fighter, and it's really inspirational, because as I say, this world sometimes can be hard, and you can go up and down, and sometimes it's hard to be focused, and like, and thinking about someone like him. But even Ellen, or like, this is a real fighter. And I think that now that I think about it, all the inspiration music I had is people that's really strong, and they fight for it,
And what's the best advice you've been given by him? It could be for your life, for your music career in general. Like what we say is the best advice he's given you.
Well, he says something in the last interview that is true, and I've been thinking about it a lot, about my production with my voice, and like, because I sing in some of them, And he asked me why I stopped, and I was like, I feel like I felt that the music I made with my voice is something that DJ don't play that much, and they don't put me where I want to be, because I'm a DJ. They play house stuff when I go playing, and I don't want to put out this stuff that it's far from there, no, because people are going to be confused. But he told me that I should try again, and I should do something that people don't expect, that actually is true. Like, don't always go for what is you think is right, because you have to do like this because other people do like this. And people expect this from you, but just you know how to do something, just do it. And people that follow you are gonna understand. That's what he said. And actually it's true. I think it's true.
And I think that's cool. It's like sort of like what Jamie and the Hot Natured Crew did back in the day, and they got a fucking like number 40, I think, in UK Billboard, over 200,000 copies. Like, that's crazy. And it's something that people didn't expect. That it's not music from the dance floor. I would cry if I listened to Isis on the dance floor. Probably I would be tearing the fuck up. But it's something different. And finally, Silvie, what are two things that you've taught? Like, what is there two really important things that you've taught your students or any DJ that you've kind of had this sort of relationship that you have with Dice? Like, what are two things that what is one thing that you've taught them, and one good advice that you've given them, or that you would give like the younger generations?
Well, to have fun for sure when they play, because sometimes we forget. I'm very I used to, now of course with the years you can be very stressed and think about what people think, and and just don't forget that when you are on the stage, you have fun, just enjoy. And now that we don't play anymore, I think we all understood how important that was. Like, it's I played few gigs this summer, and I think I never had that much fun, like in terms of like just enjoying every second of my set or every second of the party. And so just having fun. And also having fun is something that people on the dance floor can feel it. If you play, sometimes you're tired and you're not in the mood, people feel it, and the dance floor reacts in a different way. But if you're having fun and you're smiling, or either you're serious, but you can tell that you are into the set, people really feel it, and the dance floor is going to react in a different way, that for sure. So have fun is my best advice. And something that I learned
something that you've taught to someone, like, or knowledge that you think you've passed to,
something that I thought
that you've taught someone, or maybe like your students in the DJ course, or it might be some like a smaller DJ or someone who's up and coming, if you've just
there's something that I didn't do maybe I did at the beginning, but then it's hard to just don't please other people when you play, in terms of course we say please the dance floor, and that's what you do, but just you don't have to care about what people say around you. People are gonna try to put you down sometimes, and you think they're gonna try to help you, but they don't. So just follow what you feel, in music, and of course especially in taste. As we said, it's really important to understand that there's not a right taste. There's no underground stuff that is better than other one. Just play what you like, because people are gonna tell you what is commercial and what is, what is cool, what is not. If you play this, and that's something that at some point in my career, like, it happened to me. I was doing my things, and I listened to the wrong person, and they were like, "This is too commercial. This is not underground enough." And then I got a little bit confused. So I would give this as advice, is something that I experienced on myself. Like, just do what you like. There's no commercial. There's nothing that is cooler than. There's no music that is cooler than other music. You can play whatever you want, as soon as you like it. As far as you like it.
Hey, everybody! Like, just be happy. Be you. Be happy. Be original. People are gonna get fucking litty with your shit, and that's how it is. Silvie Loto, I want to thank you very fucking much for being here. It's been a true pleasure and an honor. Is there something that you would like to tell the people all over the world?
Yes, I want to say sorry for all my English mistakes I've made in this conversation. The fact that I don't tour anymore, as I don't speak English that much anymore. Yeah, I think I need to practice more. Now, what I want to say is that I hope we can meet all again on the dance floor soon. And let's believe in it. Let's keep believing that it's gonna happen soon. And yeah, that's what I hope really.
Silvie Loto, it's all love for you.
Thank you so much.
Everything in the future. Everybody, you heard it here first. And don't forget, it's all about the culture. It's about rave culture. Peace.
Thank you.